Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Last we left off, we're slowly getting to where we want to go in terms of getting Matt Ungard not guilty, except that Edgeworth seems to be anticipating our every move. I mean, to this point, he's anticipated that we'll probably want to call Adrian Andrews to the stand, to the point that he had her prepared as a witness. And we're going to listen to what she has to say in a few minutes. But for now, let's see what's going on during the recess. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So, after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See? She could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then... Dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she's the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. You'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impact's as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Yep. Yeah, we cannot let our guard down, because clearly Edgeworth is still driving this case. Oh boy, and we're just along for the ride. We haven't even taken over the steering yet. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court, Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ungard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I did not kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there is someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. Here we go. Hang on tight for a wild ride, folks. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the same exact scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime, and I disturbed this crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix? She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know that. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. You understand? In other words, find ways to throw her off track, like at that literal snap of a finger. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. And what was Mr. Ungar doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini-performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. Ungar did say he was taking a nap. Then, I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ungar's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may now continue. After that, I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? I would like to know more about this show, because we haven't really learned much about it. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So, perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. I'm sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got into his room? And there was his dead body. I was in shock. You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corrida. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down, without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corrida, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Oh, never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? No, come on. You started to open the door. You can't close it now. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's just kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information, Miss Andrews? Well, I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Well, it looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Where's my mouse? Oh, it's off screen. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. I was the one who knocked the flower vase over, where it fell onto the guitar case. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her talk is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. I have to find something. I just have to. For Maya's sake. I think I did find something, though. Like, she said that she's the one who knocked over the vase, where it fell onto the guitar case. But I remember distinctly that the case is wet. Obviously because the vase fell onto it. But she's claiming that everything she touched and nothing else. If that's true, then the guitar case should be wet inside. But as I remember it being... Oh my god, my thing is slow. Why is it slow? There we go. But as you noticed, it says only the top of the lid has water on it. That doesn't coincide with what she's saying and the facts of the case. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is that correct, Miss Andrews? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there something wrong with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true, the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That is true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? Oh, I know where he's going with this. If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Exactly. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said, other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However... The empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it?
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about it?
I think we do. But the fact remains that she hid opening the guitar case. Why would she do that? It does not benefit her in the slightest. I mean, she says she knocked the flower vase over because she was embarrassed at having messed up the scene of the crime. That part's fair, and we can believe that, because she's already testified to pouring herself a drink. So that's fair. So then why would she omit purposefully opening the case? I want to know why. The empty guitar case. I believe it's a crucial piece of this puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you, after all. Can't believe I'm doing this either.
Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. Why did you omit touching that case? Because clearly, the evidence suggests it was opened after the vase fell. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, well, even I don't know.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point.
This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man.
Thanks, Edgeworth. I don't know if you're helping me or hurting me. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see. Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over.
Well, Miss Andrews?
Yes, it was me. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over.
So, you opened the guitar case then?
Yes. Well, maybe.
Why did you open the guitar case?
Huh? Mr. Corrida's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think the first thing you would do is call for help, not open the guitar case.
As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed.
Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it.
Why would she care about the bright red guitar?
But getting back on topic. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all.
Was it really empty?
Huh? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Just pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry. As for why I opened the case, well, even I don't know. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. Guess I should just give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with, I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record waiting to be found. Okay, I need to think then. don't remember too clearly in a daze. Suppose I opened a guitar case after. Not a big deal. For why I opened a case, I don't even know. These last two are very touchy-feely. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. Was it empty? I don't know. Let me press her again. I want to see what she says here. Was it really empty? Question mark. Guitar was still inside. Cases will be over in half the time. Pay more attention. Okay, maybe not that. How about this? I'm like speed reading. Because shocked and dazed. Yes, probably. ... Not gonna get anywhere. Only way to make it talk is with evidence. Okay, so I guess evidence has to be right here? But she doesn't even know why she... Well, okay, she's claiming she doesn't know why she opened the case. No! I wanted to present. My god dang it. No, but... do we have something that suggests why she opened the case? Do we? Empty, there's some... Wait a minute. It bears Corrida's fingerprints. She opened it. Why are her fingerprints not on it? That's not what I wanted. Why are her fingerprints not on the guitar case? I just realized that. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. And why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Oh! Exactly.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
Wait, this doesn't make sense then. Her fingerprints are not on it, so it lends to the idea that she did not open the case. But she testified that the vase fell on top of the case because of her. The case was closed then. So that means she did open the case, but she made sure to not leave fingerprints. Why? Oh, you shouldn't assume that I must have left prints because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the night of the awards ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
No. The wine glass that she testified to, it's contradicted. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that just a bit strange? And why would that be strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yes. The very thing you testified to about pouring yourself a glass of wine. Tomato juice in this game. It's actually wine, but because we Americanized it and it was meant for children, we can't talk about alcohol, so... tomato juice! I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice. Man, that text went so slow. Wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? Just a little. That you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case. Oh, there goes her glasses.
Order!
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar. The bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case... Ew. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? No, wait, that's not right either.
I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case...
Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work.
steer the court towards an unrelated topic, and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo at the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you're so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black...
Oh my god. Bright black guitar. So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, Wright? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder?
Oh no.
I don't know. I didn't even know we had evidence of it. Okay, let's think back on all the facts that we have right now. Adrian Andrews was never seen leaving the scene of the crime. Rather, the nickel samurai was seen leaving. We're under the impression that in Lotta's photo, that she is dressed up as as the nickel samurai. The issue then is, Matt was arrested wearing his costume, and she is not that strong to bodily lift him up while he's sleeping and strip him naked, and then put the clothes back onto him. That's impossible. Even if you're a strong person, that just does not make any sense at all. So, the question then becomes, if we go on that line of logic, where did she get the costume? She didn't get it from Matt, so chances are it's a spare. And if it's a spare costume, where was the spare? Because Adrian already testified that she went into Juan's into Juan's room to get him ready for the show. So she's going in as Adrian Andrews, and she left as the Nickel Samurai. So that spare costume had to have been in that room somewhere for her to leave. That means she knew where it was. Why would she want to hide the fact that she opened a guitar case, except for the fact that the disguise was in there? That was what was inside the case. The spare costume. I don't know if I should present this or that. Let's present this, because I think this is clearer. Because it shows the Nickel Samurai leaving right after the crime.
This is a photograph.
Yes, but what's important is what's in the picture, Your Honor.
In it?
It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity, so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starting for the big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo? Order! Well, it looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Ungard's.
Why then would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case, of all places? That is true. It's a little baffling. Mr. Wright, The court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
I don't think it was stolen from Ungard. I legit think it was a spare. Mr. Ungard did not take this costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare.
What? Then, are you suggesting that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Then how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose.
But why? The victim, Mr. Koreda, he was the German ninja. Why would he secretly bring the nickel samurai spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now, Wright? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the nickel samurai spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you.
Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the nickel samurai spare costume to the hotel was...
I don't know.
I don't know.
And what do I do when I don't know? I'm gonna pause the video. Because, no, for real, I'm already running like almost 33 minutes before cuts. So, getting a little bit long, and I need to take a break. So, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.